next step in the home buying process is getting a lawyer, finding a lawyer, and calling them up, and then we send the paperwork here as the buyer reps and the agents representing you. I'm going to explain a little bit of what the lawyer does. I don't want to get in any trouble because I'm not a lawyer, but I will kind of explain the background of what they do. So you don't need a lawyer's name until you get an accepted offer. It's good, you can do your research ahead of time, have someone lined up and ready to go. But as soon as the offer is firm, so that's after you do all your due diligence and there's no conditions, maybe you put in a no conditions offer, then we send the paperwork to your lawyer, and they don't really start usually for a couple weeks unless your closing is really fast. So giving them a call is not necessary because we give them your email and your phone number, so they give you a call to usually book the appointment, but sometimes it's good to follow up. So what is a lawyer doing? So this is between the time that you bought the house and your closing date. During that time, there's what's called the title search date. So, and it's usually a week or two before your closing date. So before then, the lawyer is ordering paperwork from the city, and they want to make sure that your title is clean when you purchase the property. I'll let them explain that in more detail, but really what they're doing is they're searching the city's paperwork. They want to make sure there's no open permits, no liens, no encumbrances. Sometimes there's right-of-ways or easements, and that's actually quite common depending on the severity of them. Sometimes it's a bell. They want to be able to access your property if something goes wrong with their telephone pole, right? So that's an easement that is on a lot of properties that people just let go, but they want to make sure there's nothing major so that your house isn't encroaching on another lot line, things like that. So they're doing a lot of that legal jargon stuff. They're verifying that, and then usually a couple days before closing, that's when you go in to sign the paperwork, so that on the day of closing, everything's signed. They do the transfer of the money, they do the transfer of the documents, the paperwork, and they send it over to the other side, because each buyer and seller needs to have a different lawyer representing each of them. So that's what your lawyer is doing for you. Not very necessary to have it right when you're starting to look, but once you're starting to get more serious, maybe have someone ready to go or do a little bit of research, but it's very important to have them as soon as you have a firm offer. So that's the lawyer part of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to work with you.